can be dangerous. Oftentimes, you want to have the lanes that you're specifically playing around and the lanes that you're specifically playing weak side with. But now, the Lucian Nami is going to be going hard for trades. The Ryze Talia is a matchup we see a lot of, and then Ambessa Aatrox is another one where any type of jungle attention can swing the matchup. So a very aggressive pick there.
Legit just doesn't do
I'll take
anything
Electrocute,
in this lane.
Dark Harvest, Fleet. I'll press the attack.
All of that stuff at least does something. As bottom lane, hold on now, CoreJJ might be in a little bit of trouble. And yes, he is. He's out of there. Hambach just jumps in.
They didn't ward the river, so he gets an easy ramp around and gets first blood.
And I feel like this is exactly what you were talking to us about. Now, hold on. Jose Dioto jumping into the mid lane here. Does find a lot of damage onto Dark Wings. Quid ghosted Dark Wings. Barely gets away on that one. Axe and refillable, so a nice strong buy for the first recall.
Yeah, Morgan is likely going to be a problem. Immediately ults him as well as Impact is trying to hold the wave. Might get the solo kill.
Yeah, this one's looking rough. Morgan comes back to lane. So here's my problem with taking grubs from the Sentinels' perspective in a game like this. Guardian Aatrox. Because grubs require something else to give you any sort of reward, and if you can't get pressure in the side lanes, it's much harder to get the payoff from the additional damage to the turrets.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at those plates, man. 5, 5, 5, all across the lanes. They've been holding pressure in these lanes. The chat is saying Airy, Phase Rush, Lethal Tempo. They're all better.
Yeah, this all seems better, but right now, things could not be worse for Quid here in the mid lane.
Right behind him in case they jumped on top of core to try and return the damage. Nice little quick, cheeky bot lane push by the Lucian.
Okay, Jose Dioto. Hambach trading a little bit. Cyclone pops off right with the CoreJJ ulti behind it. A lot of damage on the Hambach, staying alive an extra second thanks to the shield, but he does fall down. Impact sweeping around on the side here with the World Ender. A lot of damage on Rahel, and Sentinels have lost their AD carry. Darkwing's trying to get away from Quid, and Impact has no one left to guard. He flashes over the wall, just barely stays alive. But Sentinels have lost their jungler, they've lost their AD carry, they've lost their mid laner behind enemy lines, and Team Liquid is going to take those 3 kills. They're going to take this Drake, and they are going to take control of the game here in the bot side river.
Oh man, I'd say Jose plays this fight in problems for Team Liquid, I will say. There's always, CoreJJ is incredibly loud in team fights, but sometimes that can be very beneficial. In that fight, to me, Jose, both with the engagement.
Nearly 2,000 gold individual lead for Morgan's Ambessa here in the top lane. Weaver's wall coming in.
Whoa, Yawn.
Trying to make the play. Yawn gets caught out. Wombo combo shut down on the Team Liquid 80 carry. Sentinels finds a critical piece as now Hambach's going to head over to the Rift Herald, and all that preparation Team Liquid was doing might have just been for naught.
Yeah, really nicely done there by Sentinels. It looked to me like Darkwings managed to sneak through a hole in Team Liquid's vision, since Team Liquid was really aggressively holding the river with 3, but then they realized there were 4, and everyone just had to back away. Now they're looking to make a play on Impact, though. Goodbye.
Yeah, Impact, he at least heals.
Oh.
Yeah, he gets himself the passive auto attack, which gives you a massive spike of healing, especially when it procs in the same auto as Sundered Sky. So quick surge to the health bar, but as soon as the next wave arrives, there's still more than enough firepower to knock him down. Wave crashes into the tier 1. Team Liquid's going to take this turret now. That will be their second turret take of the game. So even though the Herald exists on the other side of the rift, so Herald's going to be summoned up in mid lane by Rahel. It gets the charge into the tier 1, but they critically won't even get the full structure.
Able to sidestep the ultimate and get some of that crystalline overgrowth off of the turret. But yeah, Sentinels just needs to get as close in gold as possible before the eventual soul fight to have, and it's the mid lane that actually gets to decide that matchup. But against an Eclipse Grasp, Ambessa, and a Guardian Aatrox, even if you send a Talia or Pantheon up there, you might still be losing. So they don't have the way to play the game.
And now Jose immediately has his way to play the game, jumping in after Hambach, but a counter engage coming out from Huhi and Rahel looking to target Yawn. Hambach is low, just about to die still. Yawn down to half HP. Impact makes his way into the fight, and Yawn is gone. Rahel's also out of the picture, and Team Liquid continues pressing forward. They've got themselves a 4v2. The fight is already won. It's just how much are they going to win? And it's
He's probably not super thrilled, but everyone else on the team is able to capitalize on the team fight. This is one of those team comps where every lane, every player can carry, and Team Liquid easily cleaned this one up 4 for 1. Gotta feel for Impact.
Yeah, it's tough, man, having the runes show up like that. I will be. Does the Guardian, observers, can we check how much damage the Guardian has actually managed to block this game? We mentioned earlier, the clock is ticking down. You've got to have the map in the best possible state before they go after the Dragon Soul.
Oh,
this is not a good map state. Morgan's diving into all 3 players here on Sentinels. The follow-up from Jose, Core, and Jan as they all pile in. Hombok's the first to die, and Jan unleashes the calling. He's dead second. And there's the pincer play coming out from Quid to cut off the remaining members of Sentinels as they try to run. We might not get a Dragon Soul. The game might end before we ever get there. Jose Diodo looking for impact here, who does manage to get enough distance to stay alive, but everybody else on Sentinels is down.
I don't think that's going to be the end of the game yet, just because the minion waves haven't arrived, but Team Liquid did a great job there playing fast. They kind of jumped ahead of the waves. So Sentinels was almost waiting to defend the turrets when the waves arrived, but Team Liquid was so fast in setting up that play, they killed everyone, and only now are the waves actually getting to the turret. So it makes for a very successful Baron power play, really makes this game pretty unwinnable for Sentinels, but we're gonna have to wait until at least the next big team fight.
All right, Tier 2 in that bottom lane, crashing to the ground as we speak. The Tier 2 over in mid lane. Oh, it does survive. Look at that, just barely hanging on. The one in mid lane also about to die to the minions, so plenty of pressure in 2 different spots from those minions.
It's only 3 minutes until the next one, but Team Liquid is in total control.
Yep, and there's your Chemtech Soul. Utterly uncontested by Sentinels. They know that they don't have a chance of fighting a 10,000 gold lead TL at a neutral objective, so instead they're just going to take... And this is another one of those handshakes where you feel really bad about it there with the top lane. You're handshaking Dragon Soul for a Tier 1 turret with an objective bounty slapped onto it up in top lane. So it doesn't feel great. Gets the gold lead back down to 4... Nope, never mind. Back up to 5 digits here for Team Liquid, as Quid's going to make sure it builds even further. Secures the last hit on that bottom lane Tier 2, and TL is keeping the pressure on.
They really are. Jose has had a great game on the Wukong.
100%.
Notwithstanding the top lane. The top lane has didn't have a keystone. Make Morgan do it too, just to even the field. I
feel like if we are considering baiting the enemies into taking a rune that literally does nothing as part of our win con, our win cons have been severely compromised.
Well, I just think you might be able to get him to do it. That's the thing. It's not a completely unrealistic ask. Oh, Quid might be getting caught.
Yeah, Q1 hits the sweet spot. Quid eats the full Aatrox combo, but he's still alive with 60% HP.
Yep.
The Nami wave roars in over the top.
This might be GG.
Just stops the follow-up. Morgan dives into everybody. Hombok's going to be the focus here for the very start of the fight. Already down. Jose just into the back line yet again. Going after Rahel. Jose Diodo very low, but he does get another Sundered Sky proc to keep him alive. Jose walks away from it, but Impact finally gets the kill. The Aatrox awarded with 1,000 gold shutdown, but it's only Darkwings and Impact still alive as Jan continues to get all those blessings from Core JJ. The bullets slow you down as he shoots you in the knees with him on the run. As Team Liquid continues their push towards the Nexus turrets, it is a 2v4 right now as Sentinels will scramble, but it ain't gonna matter. Darkwings is already down. Impact will be the next to die as Jan and Morgan go forward. Double kill for the Lucian. And now as the minions arrive towards the Nexus turrets, that'll be all she wrote. 18-5. Team Liquid commanding their leads, particularly through Morgan, particularly through the plays of Jose Diodo throughout this game. Hombok's gonna die again. Team Liquid just wants to pad the stats a little bit. He retreats back into the fountain, and TL takes game 1.
A little bit of KDA maxing at the end of that game. 19 kills to 5. Dragons tools here, and a late pick Vi as well. So this is a Kaza comp. If the Kaza can get going, then Rahel would be in for a very strong game. But that's what Team Liquid's going to try and stop from happening. Just picking really strong lanes. Right? I feel like that's been the name of the game.
Jan and Core JJ running their lane matchup in this early game. And now 5 minutes on the clock, Jose Diodo feels empowered to just go for a solo dragon. Up in the top lane, Morgan is proxy farming against Impact, who goes for the ulti to stun him up here near the wall. Morgan about to die. It's first blood. Impact gets a solo kill when he has the right runes. Morgan might have overplayed his hand just a little bit here, trying to keep up with his mid and bot lane dominance. But that dominance does continue as Jose secures the first Drake of the game for TL, who he's got to be careful about getting any closer right here. He's already down to half HP. Hombok hanging around nearby, but it does not matter because Team Liquid still maintains control over the send their attention over to Jan. Nice use of the Vault Breaker to cut off the escape. Combined with the flash, they knock Jan down. Sentinels gets a kill bottom side.
And great job getting the kill onto the carry as well, because now they get to deny him this entire wave. It lowers the threat. It allows Rahel to get that plate. Actually gives him an advantage.
Gold lead so far in this game. Quid nearly getting the solo on Darkwings earlier, not quite having enough damage to make it happen. Now CoreJJ tries to go in to put the pressure onto Darkwings, but the Emperor's Divide is ready. Darkwing Dragon got it down below 3,000. Morgan wrapping around from behind, going in for the pincer attack. Who he wants the pop blossom, he finds it onto 2. Hambach ready to follow up. Rahel needs more damage if they want to try to kill Hosedioto, but Who he's already gone. CoreJJ under pressure, but Team Liquid is finding so many kills. Quid knocks down Hambach. Morgan is ready and waiting with an open maw for impact here in the bottom lane. The Mystic shot can barely not catch up to the Scion, but it's CoreJJ traded.
If you're a team that has 3 losing lanes, you always say afterwards, if you lose the game, Morgan might be dead.
Yeah, okay. Impact goes in, stops him from being able to get away. Morgan does pop the Dominus, slices out of the way of the decimating smash. He wanted to try to heal up with the Call the Meek of the minions, but nope, not going to happen. Mantra Inner Flame combo to lose 30-40% of his HP, something around there. Darkwing's ready to join up though.
This is a really weird game with how fast it is and how close the goal still is, despite it looking like Team Liquid has just been running the whole server. I mean, Rahel's going to get fed off this bot turret. His call cashed in. He got the kill. He's also going to be not first turret gold, but still solo turret gold, so he's pulling ahead of Yawn. I ran into Spooks before.
Yeah, the Herald's down to 5,000 HP. It's Team Liquid with control over the river, but Sentinels are ready to challenge that. Impact wants to be the front line here for the team. Does not have the ulti ready to go. Hambach goes in for the play onto Quid, but he flashes away from the pop. Rahel into the back line here with the Killer Instinct. Finishes the job, and the team just now making his recall, but he does have teleport to try to join up with the rest of Sentinels. Quid putting the pressure onto the tier 1 here in the bottom lane. Has a big wave crashing into that one. Darkwings has already arrived. Hosedioto going in. Hambach going to be the target, but there's no damage here to follow it up just yet. Quid's now going to be in massive danger. Goes golden, but he'll die as soon as he gets out of that statue form. They kill Rahel in trade, though. There's that Kaza. There's that win condition you were talking about out of the picture now as Hambach is down to 50 HP. Team Liquid trying to get out of the enemy jungle now as both top laners have arrived for the fight. Morgan trying to make sure that his team can get control over this Scuttle Crab now, as you're going to see Hosedioto summon up the Rift Herald over in mid lane, then go ahead and take his recall, look for the reset. Herald secures the tier 1 turret. And ultimately,
Drake, which isn't necessarily free, Team Liquid decide to give it away. And Soul Point denied by Sentinels as they look to make a play bottom now.
I feel like that is huge for Sentinels denying that Soul Point there as Morgan flashes away from the Pop Blossom, but the Tangle Barbs still lock him up, and Sentinels should have enough damage here. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Morgan gets away with 100 away like that. And you can see the whole roller coaster of emotions there on Golden Glue's face as he thought, yeah, we have the pick here. This is great. Good job, guys. And then the Renekton just barely walks away from it. Sentinels now looking to put on some pressure of their own. They've got Darkwings back up here in this top lane looking for the tier 1 turret that he was seeking after earlier. This time should be able to find it considering he has teammates in the neighborhood. As Morgan will take the chance to now trade for the tier 2 in the bottom lane. Team Liquid do have more turrets overall this game. They have had more control over more of the map for more of the game. Darkwings wants to try to let this turret eat as many minions as it can before it falls down. And it looks like right as we're about at the end here, there we go. Tag it, take it away.
Forward, interesting choice.
Okay, is this
very interesting?
No, okay.
Was he was just outside the bush. He didn't see it.
Oh, that is actually a big problem potentially as Impact storms in right over top of his bottom lane combo and they take. All right, Sentinels starting up the Drake. Keep your eyes on Rahel, on that Kaza. Impact still full HP here with the Scion as well. Who he goes in for the Pop Blossom. Finds it, but it's only onto Hosedioto as the Shockwave counterattack seals the fate of Huhi. One dead on either side, but considering it's the jungler for TL, it means Sentinel secures the Drake. Easy peasy. Morgan dies now too, and Sentinels are not done yet. Quid tries to get away from the Scion, but Impact is cutting off the escape route for CoreJJ and Quid. He has to back away now as Yawn finds some...
A little bit of farming until the next Drake. It's still a little bit early to really hard force the Baron unless they do get a nice pick.
Oh, that is huge. Hambach! That is a potentially game-losing mistake for the jungler to be caught in a position like that. As Darkwings retreats back up here to the top side. But now, jungler dead, no Emperor's Divide, 4v5 for Sentinels.
I think Sentinels look for a fight here. I mean, Darkwings had to burn ultimate already as a disengage, but Impact can still ult in to create space.
Okay, there's no ulti on Morgan, there's no ulti on Quid. Sentinels stepping up.
Gotta keep hitting Baron so they can smite it.
Yep, impacts your front line here. Team Liquid still DPSing the Baron. No smite on the enemy team to try to steal it away. Baron secured. Hombok's great. This is so much less frightening for Sentinels than it otherwise could have been because Team Liquid now could be in some trouble. Yon with the flash over the wall, but immediately Rahel's ready to follow. Killer instinct. Killer indeed. Who he ends up taking the kill credit as now you've got Quid and Hosedioto trying to do something back into Sentinels. They found a couple of kills. Darkwings wants to go in after Quid as Jose and Morgan are trying to scrap with Rahel and Impact. Core JJ makes his way into the fight, but Quid's had to run all the way away. Impact stunned up with the Enchanted Ruthless Predator, loses his shield on that one. Hosedioto looking
towards waves.
Yeah, Team Liquid secure this one for themselves. There's no Baron on the other side of the map to worry about Sentinels taking. So finally, 28, nearly 29 minutes into the game, it is soul point status for TL. Darkwings' Sundisk is decaying down here in the bottom lane. Hosedioto going to jump in, try to put some pressure onto the Emperor. Core and Yon moving in to try to help Jose here. The tether will lock up Darkwing, but they need to have the extra damage on top, and Hosedioto guarantees it. Another individual mistake on the Sentinels side, being in a position that could be punished, is going to open up yet another Team Liquid avenue to find more afterwards. This is a 45-second death timer on your late game Azir. This is pressure onto the tier 3 turret coming out from Team Liquid as Impact moves in to try to stop the push. Morgan is maintaining a split push threat over in the mid lane, but now he's going to get jumped on. Hombok and Rahel immediately pull both triggers on the ultimates and take out the enemy top laner. Problem is, now those tools are no longer available, and Team Liquid is already in your base. Sentinels are thinking about how are we going to make this play? How do we try to wrap around and punish? But it's still a 4v4 because you've still got Darkwings dead. Now, once Darkwings respawns, he has TP. We'll see if they can use that.
I'll give you a second to take a breath because this game's not slowing down. Hombok is on the flank, and they will have a numbers advantage before Team Liquid can get out.
He's Pop Blossom. Keep your eyes on it. Quid's going to be tagged, but nobody else is caught. He goes for some burst. Impact wants to lock up the rest of the team. Hombok trying to put the Vault Breaker into Quid, and they've got the kill in the mid laner. Nicely picked up there on the side of Sentinels to get Quid and Core JJ together. Yon and Hosedioto trying to make sure they can both escape. It's the buddy system. Don't go nowhere without your buddy. Sentinels wanting to get something back on this one. Tier 1 turret. Now the focus of their aggression. They will take the gold lead back with this, but now Baron's health bar down to below 10,000. Team Liquid doing very slow DPS though, as he is a Riverside minion trying to find his way around from behind the fight. Hombok wants to lead the charge. Shockwave right back onto the enemy jungler as both will be knocked down into the Guardian Angels now. Morgan not finding an entry point into the fight as Yon dies. Hombok's ready there to take the kill. Hosedioto re-enters and Darkwings is dealt with. Jose over the wall, but Rahel's ready to follow him as Team Liquid continue fighting here in a 3v4. Morgan goes back over the wall. Rahel under pressure. They need to try to kill the Kaza, but they can't find the damage. Core JJ gonna be your target here next. Double kill into Acathian Rain, and Quid is down. Triple kill Rahel, and Sentinels, when it matters most, out team fight Team Liquid.
Absolutely insane play there by Rahel, but it all started with a suicidal-looking Vi engage. He knew what he needed to do. His job was he can finish off even more kills. They get the Baron. They also get another Drake to deny Soul, and this is an
Kaisa, nearly full build. You can see the itemization here in his inventory. Nashor's, Ginsu's, Dust Dawn, critically the Zonias as well for the aggro drop alongside the Kraken Slayer, and now with the needlessly large rod in inventory, once that evolves into a fully completed item, he's done. 7-item ADC.
What an absurd power spike you have on every stage of this Kaisa build. Every single item seems to give him a new awesome power, and it's a Kaisa comp. When he's this fed, it's really, really nice to play. It's the funny thing with Rahel, this was true even last year on DSG, like when he gets a lead, he's very good at carrying. It's just really hard to get him.
The 7,000 HP Scion.
So I think he's a no, he doesn't need the item. It's also the protoplasm harness
damage as, all right, let's go ahead and begin the Baron. It's Hombok and Rahel. That's DPS from just the three of them. Like this thing is shredding. Team Liquid, if they want to try to challenge this, they're going to have to go yesterday. Nope, Hombok's already got it secured. Everybody, Hoo-hee! With the Pop Blossom onto the back line, already ready to take Yon out of the picture. Core JJ's your target as Hosedioto has to retreat. Rahel's going legendary. Now he's going golden. He's putting the pressure onto everybody on Team Liquid, and Yon's going to be killed off next. True shot barrage won't matter worth a damn. Quid's running towards the wrong side of the jungle. Azir and Kaisa at this part of the game is so massive. They're just going to crumble in an instant. Impact makes his way forward as well. I can barely count the notches on the health bar anymore on this guy. as Sentinels continues their push towards the Nexus turrets. 15 seconds on Yawn and Morgan for the Team Liquid side. Darkwings and Rahel stepping up to do the DPS. Rahel flies into the back line looking for the killer instinct, but nobody's dead here just yet. He one-shot him! Rahel gets the one-shot at a core. JJ Hombach following up towards Quid, as Sentinels is honestly taking a little bit too long to do this. Darkwings getting targeted by Morgan. True shot barrage over the top. Darkwings is slowed. Morgan with a 1,000 gold shutdown. There's no way, right? There's no way, right? There's no way, right? Hombach and Impact are alive, but a TP's coming into the bottom lane now.
Rahel got one shot by Quid trying to style with a late game ultimate. I think the Baron buff and the Sign is enough to stop it, but this wave is pretty deep, and there are super minions for Team Liquid. It would be a 3v2, but this is the last-ditch effort. It's just a Sion and a Vi.
Yeah, they're full sending it already for the Team Liquid side. They already committed both teleports. They've already got Yawn here. Hombach and Impact trying to hold the line. Yawn's got to make sure he hits every single bit of his DPS, but Morgan's about to die. He dies before he can get away. Quid and Yawn trying to keep the pressure.
Starts hitting it. It's going to die in like 5 seconds.
Okay, let's see how much damage they do to it. Acathian Rain. Yeah, it honestly looks like
already 10,000 damage.
Kaisa's dancing with how fast she shoots. This has got to be a new feature for the KDA skin, as now immediately they try to go in. Darkwing's going to be your target. Yawn's already killed him, but the Elder Drake has been claimed by the side of Sentinels. Hombach going into the back line, looking to try to find himself a target. Rahel flies in with a killer instinct, and there's your executions. Sentinels finally finds it, the triple, the quadra kill for Rahel. They might have lost Darkwings there at the very beginning, but the Elder buff ends games for a reason. It was a long, bloody battle, my friend, but Sentinels are not gonna go quietly here in this best of 3. They bounce back in game number 2. They do it with the massive Kaza performance from Rahel. This dude is my player of the game, no question.
Captain Flowers, 7 to be blind picked, there's a higher chance. But the fact that it's a full blind pick, I don't think you just slam Yasuo like that.
I mean, that's the confidence play. That's the aggressive play. But yeah, we won't be getting that one here this time around. We'll be the victor.
Ooh.
So we've got 2 very powerful, high damage. They've got the push. They've got the control through Rahel and Huhi, like you already mentioned. So Hombach will take a very early first Drake. Early mountain Drake. Nice.
Yeah, start the clock. That's 5 minutes, 36 seconds. I talked earlier in the series about how
something you brought up in the previous game. Hold on, we'll talk about that in just a moment, because Sentinels may find themselves
the objective
on the receiving end of a pincer attack. Hombach eats the resonating strike there from Hosediodo. Now he's got to be a little bit careful, does get knocked back, but the entrance from Darkwings is heroic indeed. It's first blood over to Sentinels. Hombach might just die here, but Core JJ should get picked up. Rahel chasing after him in the flash for the auto attack. He's staying alive for now, but the death ray picks him up. It's a 2-for-2 trade in the bot side river.
Minion trading when we consider what's actually happening in the lanes, unless Hombach can make a dive happen. They're going to get the notification of the grubs soon.
Yep, okay, so voidgrubs secured. Hosediodo's got that one. Hombach knows there's no ultimate here on the Alistar. Darkwings is also following up behind to guarantee they're able to take this. Core JJ drops, and now the target might just be Yawn here with a follow-up. Hombach's going forward. Arcane Storm is used, but it won't matter. It looks like Team Liquid were ready for mini-map, and that means that Hombach and the rest of Sentinels have decided they have enough control. They will be able to secure this second Drake of the game. And once again,
all 3 people on the lounge predicted a 2-0 for Team Liquid today. But again, look at this. Yawn can't get back to his turret. Sentinels is just camping them.
I love to see this aggressive play from Sentinels, but now it might have got a little bit too aggressive. He does manage to dash back over the wall, escape before another turret shot finds him. The Arcane Storm is ticking, though. Here comes your heroic entrance. Darkwings arrives, but now he's got to try to get away. Lands the taunt, phase rush, giving him that extra distance. That means that Rahel and Huhi both get to keep their flashes, but they had to spend both other defensive summoners alongside the ulti from Darkwings. Hosediodo seeing if he can find a greedy recall here, but there is no such thing just yet. Rahel does almost stay around a little bit too long. Okay, he trusted his sidestep there. The trust pays off.
Flowers Hex Rift is creating chaos already.
Yep. I called it. I told you.
He's already back in the map. They're still fighting.
He wants the knock up onto Jose, but the grand entrance falls a little bit short. Quid stepping forward here. Remember, no ulti on either one of the mid laners. Core JJ does have Unbreakable Will here on the Alistar as the TP is coming in. Core jumps in, nice two-man knock-up. Hambach returning with the counter-engage as there goes Morgan's Equalizer, trying to find enough damage here. He and Hambach both about to die. Core JJ won't be traded. The double kill back over to Morgan on the Rumble. He's looking to carry from the top lane. Where the hell did the Ornhorn go? Impact is not able to send the thing back in where they wanted it, and Team Liquid gets everybody away on blinking. Oof. If that Ornhorn redirects, because you slam that onto all of those low health bars, they should be able to pick up this kill onto Quid without a whole lot of to do about it. That phase rush is getting him somewhat away, but no, Hambach will finish the kill. Yeah, the Ornhorn in that previous fight, if you could have found the knockups and the follow-ups, but we'll never know. It's only hypotheticals from here. Core JJ and Jose Diodo coming up 2 versus 3 as a nice quickness to charm them both from Huhi, but there's no follow-up damage. Yon and Rahel encountering one another. The Foss Bomb connects onto Yon, and Rahel goes in! The AD carry battle results in a win for Sentinels, and now with 2 dead on the enemy team, both of those 2 being carries, Jat, it looks like Sentinels is ready to start up the Rift Herald. Jose Diodo is nearby, still going. And Dark Wings is coming around from the other side. Core and Jose wanting to challenge for the objective. Resonating Strike comes in from Jose Diodo, and he steals away the Herald. Now the Equalizer's down over the top from Morgan, but it's still a 4v3 favoring Sentinels. Jose wants to get out, but the heroic entrance goes in. Morgan's still overheated, but he's got another flame splitter ready to go. Morgan finds a kill. Rahel's gonna die to Core JJ. Morgan finally falls to the winds of war as Core is knocked up into the air by the grand entrance once more. Quid's trying to show up, mop and bucket. He's got some cleanup duty to do as Impact wants to cover for the escape of Dark Wings and Huhi. This, just trying to get as much value as he can out of those gleaming quills, those extra heals, keep everybody topped up against the poke. Impact gonna be your front line here. Over the wall goes Huhi. Quickness ready to follow it up with a heroic entrance coming down over the top, and Jose Diodo is already down. Equalizer, not a lot of value to be found as Morgan has to try to flash away, but Hambach is in hot pursuit. Team Liquid, they only lose 1 man, but that man is the jungler, and Sentinels are going to Soul Point.
And they crucially burn Flash off of both Team Liquid carries for future fights. Clean engage there by Huhi's Recon, and they actually execute the 2 selves, right? Sentinels loses to DSG, then they demolish Dignitas, and maybe they beat Team Liquid. They're on Morgan now.
Yeah, they immediately summon up the Ornhorn. Impact has it all ready to go here this time. Yes, he doesn't quite slam himself into the volcanic fissure how he wanted, but it means it only cost them an extra second to get that kill. And Jat, that was the plus 2,000 gold Rumble. That was what has been trying to get Team Liquid through some of these mid-game fights, and that was a free kill on the very same dude.
How much swagger? It's looking very dire, and again, Huhi's hunting in the sideline. I don't even know if they have the damage to kill, but he's flashless, so they're hoping to burn ultimate, which they do, and now they can just disengage.
Yeah, just walk it off. Hambach is coming to show up, though. If Morgan overstays for this, Core JJ is at least ready to shadow him a little bit. Meanwhile, they will at least be able to secure...
For an engage here, they have great river control right now.
Muramana completed for Rahel. You've also got the extra serrated Dirk on top. Jungler's already fighting here in the river, here in the jungle of Team Liquid. Is all right, checking in on our Ornn upgrades. We do have that Trinity Force upgraded now for Rahel's Corki.
And
Sentinels,
this is the spot to fight.
Grouped up as 5. Rumble ulti still 5 seconds away. Core JJ tries to jump in the middle of everybody. He's gonna take a lot of damage here at the very start as Hambach wants to put pressure onto Morgan, but Hambach is already killed. Now Yon's about to be bursted down. Dark Wings doesn't have any cooldowns left. The Arc of Ruin gonna force the Galio back. Sonic Wave into the Resonating Strike. Jose Diodo wants to go in, but he has to get right back out. Remember, there is no jungler on the side of Sentinels, so trying to take this Drake doesn't feel right.
And Hex Gates re-engaged. Look, Rumble already teleporting. Core JJ on the way. I think they denied the soul.
Soul stopped. It stopped. Team Liquid, it's a 1-for-0, but again, last time they were on the receiving. Before a soul would arrive, Darkwing should be able to pick up just some free gold here, punch the turret 1 time, easy. Kind of like experimental hex plate, where it's really good on the champs that really like it, even if it's kind of useless on the majority of champs overall. Any marksman
16 on this Ornn.
You're seeing on my way pings coming out from the Team Liquid side towards the Baron, though. This Baron DPS is not particularly fast. Team Liquid is going to make their way over. Morgan gets taunted up, though. A lot of combo damage onto the Rumble, and Hambach's ready to create some space for everybody else. Core JJ down to half HP. Here comes the Ornhorn, and Impact with the sideline kill on Morgan starts it off. Now Yawn's in danger. He might get focused. Rahel flies in. Hambach is down, but so is Yawn. Team Liquid has lost everybody except for Quid and Jose Diodo, and Sentinels still has 4 men. Dragonfight's always ready to jump in over the wall with the Lee Sin. That seems to be who he is marking with his recon. Hambach and Rahel DPSing the Dragon slowly but surely.
It's a flip.
Got it down to about 2,500, and Impact is going in here with the Ornhorn. He knocks him up into the air, and they've already claimed the soul, and Morgan's soul as well. Dark Wings drawing the ire of Yawn off to the side, but it's only a distraction, as now Team Liquid's going to lose their second man. A double kill for Rahel, and Hambach wants even more. Wind becomes lightning, and lightning strikes Quid.
Rather big ask to try and steal the Baron away from this Hextech sold Sentinels team.
Team Liquid fans, spam your Tukis. Jose Diodo's got to go for the miracle here because Sentinels really wants this Baron. Jose Diodo throwing the Q over the wall. He jumps into the pit. The Baron's still at 2,500 HP. Meanwhile, Dark Wings is ready to follow up over the wall. He finds the taunt onto 2. Nobody else wants to overcommit. This is going to be like a storybook, what you get in the interview for this game. Between the game 1 all the way up through now, if they can manage to turn it around and win the series. Core JJ is already almost dead. As soon as Hambach goes in for the prime 3-talent strike, knocks him up into the air, that's going to force out your Unbreakable Will, which means Core JJ now has to wait for that cooldown to do anything other than go in and die after one combo in a team fight.
Not completely over yet, though. So 1 minute, 30 seconds on this Baron power play. They have to make it count. They are a short-range team. So they have big-time tanks, but it's really just Corki who can safely hit these turrets. They might have to full commit for a dive, which can get messy.
And they're ready to step up and start putting that pressure on.
Just hit it, though.
Yeah, the first turret, there's no defense here from TL. Hambach steps forward, audacious charge on the minion for the better positioning for Wind becomes lightning, means that Team Liquid feels that presence. They have to back away, and now the top lane tier 3 gets knocked out by Dark Wings right thereafter. That means that this will be a 2-inhib game immediately without much of a fight being put up by Team Liquid, who are now this close to losing this series. Yawn gets jumped on, Ornhorn coming through, heroic entrance right next to it. Yawn's about to die, and Impact's taking the kill all for himself. Jose Diodo can't get to the back line. Who he might die, the turret shot's in the air. Quid takes the credit for it, but the first Nexus turret is already about to fall. Morgan wants to hold with the flame spitter, but it's just not hot enough. Rahel and the rest of Sentinels push forward towards the Nexus itself, and Quid and Morgan can't stop them. 2-1, Sentinels takes the dub.
And Sentinels move on to lock in playoffs.